It's Thirstin Howell III. You know, I'm out here in Philly, wilding out with my boy TMP. And I'm hanging with the culture coaches, man. And we about to coach y'all and throw y'all in the game. Let you know what it is. Put me in, coach.
TMP, the microphone prince. You know, I'm in Philly with the culture coaches, Val the Voice, and DJ No Frills. My man Thirstin Howell.
Famous Frills and Val the Voice, coaching the culture.
Let it play. Famous Frills, DJ No Frills, the Maybach of this music-ish, the Rolls Royce of this radio-ish. I am effing top of the line, and this is my Boricua, bro. Tell him your name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's your man Val the Voice, the people's choice, Mr. Validated, and I know you hate it. Listen, man. Thank you, Frills. Thank you for bringing me back. Always playing the cool classics, man. We want to take a moment to shout out all of our syndicators, all of our sponsors, everybody who's been rocking with the culture coaches. Today we got a legendary show. And I always say, Frills, right? Some people are part of the culture. And then there's other people who are not just part of the culture. They shape the culture and they help push the culture forward. And today we got the pleasure of having two legends in the building, okay? My man Thirstin Howell III, he's in the building with us today. We're going to get into his history. We're going to get to his current projects and everything that he's done throughout the years, through the decades, homie. Yeah. When you just started hanging out, he was already outside. A lot of people talk about being outside. You wasn't outside back then. And we got Microphone Prince, TMP, the legendary Microphone Prince. You know, he's been making a lot of waves online, man. He's got a lot of movement going on, a lot of motion. We're going to talk about this big event going on in Orlando. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. But today's show is dedicated, rest in peace to my man Power, legendary Wu-Tang figure, man. And also, I want to dedicate the show to your man Paco.
Paco Loco.
Man.
Peace, Pac.
Rest in peace to Power Loco. He's also a legendary figure in the culture, man, part of the Low Lives movement. And, you know, we just want to take a moment, you know, to acknowledge these brothers and everything that they did. I had the opportunity of hanging out with Power once or twice. Shout out to my sister Cinnamon Jones, who was part of his whole movement. And, you know, very, very cool brother, very authentic brother. And he just did so much for hip hop.
You got a legend that's living. Excuse me, I'm excited. You know why? This man made Polo cool around the globe. Yo, for the fans around the world, tell them your name.
Excuse me.
My name is Thirstin Howell III, the Polo Rican, the skillionaire, skillosopher, serial skiller, Mr. Mahone. You know, I got Don Chicha Hong. I got a million accolades, man, to tell you who I am, what I do, and how it goes down.
Okay.
You know?
Can you tell us, let's honor your man for a minute, your man Paco. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, my man Pac, I met him 5 years ago.
Okay.
He hit me up to do a feature song with him.
Okay.
And he told me he had stage 4 cancer when I met him. And he had 6 months to live. So, you know, during the process of me doing the feature with him, I wound up doing his whole album. I told him to write a book about his journey and everything. So, you know, just hanging with him for them 5 years, he became a part of my team in Orlando as far as helping us orchestrate and really plan things out with the lowlifes in Orlando and Miami. And, you know, he became an important figure amongst us with all the knowledge and wisdom he had that he brought to the table. And more than anything, man, I feel like we kept him alive those extra 5 years. By, you know, being in his presence, being in our presence, and, you know, and at the same time, we lost a lot of low lives in the past couple of years. You know, my dude Steamo, we just lost Sheena Perez. You know, so, you know, I want to give condolences to everybody out there that we losing. We keep losing. Rest in peace to Power. Again, you know, another stand-up, hard-body, powerful brother out there. Yes, so, you know, love to everybody who's losing people out there. It's not a game.
It's official, man. Health and hip-hop. Listen, Microphone Prince is back for the second time. Microphone Prince, man, introduce yourself for the people who don't know who you are. Tell them a little bit about your history also. We're happy to have you back up here.
Thank you, brother. TMP, the Microphone Prince from the Bronx, you know, started in 79.
Yes, sir.
We had groups out in the streets, Throwdown 4, Turnout 2 with Capone. He's a gangster of comedy. He hosts the Apollo. And our best run was a legendary run we had with Devastating Tito, the Ironclad family. Did a lot of joints, got at Jay-Z, all kinds of shit. And then my brother Thirst Me and him on a run right now.
That's right. This is a Hip Hop Co-Creators segment, okay? Sponsored by the Hip Hop Co-Creators. Make sure to follow at the Hip Hop Co-Creators. It's a legendary IG page that highlights Boricuas and Latinos in hip hop and our accomplishments. Listen, we've been down since day one. We push the culture forward. Don't act brand new. Frills.
Hey, Val, like I said, man, look, I don't want to talk too much. Most DJs that rap are whack. I'm not whack, but I don't rap, and I don't want to go platinum talking. I want to talk to this living legend, the legend that's living. Thirstin, man, listen, Low Lives, the movement. Can you please break down the Low Live movement for the people around the globe?
We was the evolution of the street gangs of New York. We the pioneers of this polo shit. Ain't nobody do this shit before us, not the way we did it. We the reason it's all over the world. I was somebody always inspired by fashion. I always wanted to be fly. I was born when hip hop was born, so I was able to see everything as it developed and as it evolved. So I always evolved with the styles of the fashion within hip hop. I remember wearing name buckles and all that at 9 years old and getting my first pair of Pro-Ked sneakers and how I felt just having them on and how everybody else looked at me for having this on. You know, these were items of respect and gave you social status in your neighborhood. New York in the late 80s, it was crazy, chaotic, it was wild, especially for, you know, the areas of Brooklyn where lowlifes came from. Killings, shootings, robberies, like, you know, the crime rate was out of control and robbery was always a way to survive.
Where the fuck your black ass going, man?
The attraction to boost Ralph Lauren, it was his turn to get stolen. You know what I mean? Because everything got stolen. Everything was based on just us being poor and our parents not really providing us with the things we wanted. They might have gave us the things we needed, but the things we wanted couldn't be afforded. You know, it's not Ralph Lauren's fault. We didn't really target him from that sense. He was just part of our evolution of all the things we were already doing.
Yo, my name is Ski, the Godfather of Booster. You a black nigga? Steve Austin, Bionic Booster. You're Bionic Booster. Big Victor Barbarian, undisputed thief.
So once Polo came into play, you seeing the variety that they kept bringing. I should see my man Beck Live come around, throwing up the big flags and things like that. Like, these are the things that used to inspire us. We was inspiring each other. To actually come back with some high-end stuff from Fifth Avenue and wear it in the projects, it made you somebody, man. Not only was you fly, you had to be somebody to wear these things because they'll get taken from you. The low life movement, as everyone knows, started off in Brooklyn. You know, it started off from the polo, from the heist, from all the, you know, survival tactics in Brooklyn. Right. From Marcus Garvey Village in Brownsville and St. John's and Utica and Crown Heights. And then it spread all throughout the world. But in the new millennium, we transformed what low life stood for from low life into love and loyalty. And we started becoming positive organizations around the world, you know, uniting people through hip hop and through fashion and all of that, the polo and all. But, you know, what low life is today is like I say in every interview, we followed in the footsteps of the Rocksteady crew and the Zulu Nation to become, you know, a subculture that went global and just united everybody under one umbrella to stand together, mostly through hip-hop.
Got you. So it's safe to say y'all pushing P, which we say up here, y'all pushing positivity.
And righteousness, and not just pushing it, we living it.
Living it. Oh, I got a question for you. The fans around the world want to know, and I want to know just in Philadelphia, back in the day, if you got caught with a fake polo shirt on, you was getting played, homie. Like, you couldn't have no fake. Yo, if you found out a member had fake low, would his membership get revoked? The people need to know.
It was more dangerous to get caught with a real polo shirt on than
Wow.
a fake one. Nobody really paying you no mind with a fake one. You just don't got no status.
Yeah.
With the real ones, you might have to come off for that. You know,
Frills, that's why they created USPA. And a lot of people in Philly were wearing USPA. We from Brooklyn. We was wearing the official polo. We don't wear USPA.
Hold on. Wallow or low life? I'm going to call Wallow. We're going to get this straight.
I ain't worried about Wallow.
Listen, but hold on. Listen, y'all made it cool. Look, let's talk about some of the pieces. Like, what are some of the, like, if you are low life, what are some of the pieces you have to have? Like, for the people, let's talk about the culture. We are the culture. Let's talk about fashion.
I mean, in low life, like, in the beginning, there was a lot of low-lifes who didn't even wear polo.
Okay.
It was just a whole bunch of hard-bodied dudes doing survival tactics.
Got you.
Whether it was in the projects, in the prison, or just on the block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in today, a lot of people who gravitate to the low-life culture is more about the polo and their style of fashion.
Right.
I think everybody's style and fashion probably goes along with their personality.
Got
You might be a preppy type dude, and the prep little horsies might be your style.
Yeah.
Or you might be a bold dude who like to poke your chest out and wear big crowns or stadium plates. You know, there's a lot of grails within this. You know, and there's a lot of history lessons.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different styles, logos. So this is a conversation that could happen for 5 years.
So what I want to say for me, I think the dopest was the low sport. And Philly, we always say low. We never say polo. We always call it low sport. I like the low sport. What's your favorite piece of all time? Thirstin, this is exclusive. What's your favorite piece?
I'm a cross flag dude. I come from the 87, 88 era. That was my favorite era. And the cross flags logo was my favorite logo. I even got it tattooed on my stomach and all that, you know. So it's like I was real heavy with the cross flag. So it's to this day, it's still my favorite logo in polo.
I got one last question about the clothes, right? Is the quality the same from 88 to 2026? Is the quality still there with low? Keep it 1,000.
I'm going to keep it 1,000. Back then, I never cared about the quality, nor was I examining it.
Okay.
I looked fly. That's all that mattered. Now, at Low Lifes, you know, we would preserve a lot of our clothes in Ziploc bags and things like that. I didn't have a clue that these garments were going to last 30 years and become vintage, priceless pieces nowadays. I never even cared about the quality. I just cared about how it fit me and how good it looked. I learned about the quality after seeing the shirt last for 30 years.
Got you. So what's better? Hold up. The low rugby or the low shirt? What's better, the rugby or the low? You more rugby or you more just the classic polo?
Whatever I got on was the better.
All right.
You know what I mean? Whatever I wear becomes staple. You know, that's
hip-hop.
We make the clothes.
Yes.
The clothes never made us. You know what I mean?
Fact.
A Val Cook.
So listen. For people who don't know, right? You're from Brooklyn. You're from Brownsville. Okay.
I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn, but I was born in Far Rockaway, Queens.
Okay. Shout out to Far Rockaway,
and I was
Queens.
raised in Brownsville.
Okay. So a lot of legendary figures. For those who don't understand, you know, the dynamics and the impact that Brownsville have made in the culture of hip hop, of sports. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my man Zab Judah. Shout out to Mike Tyson. Shout out to Shannon Briggs.
That's my
brother. Razor Ruddock. All of these people who came from Brownsville, which is a legendary. You know, Brownsville is considered, even today, the most dangerous part of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You have Brownsville and East New York, and then which are brothers, and then everything else comes, you know, as an offset of that. So tell people what it was like. You know, give us a history lesson about Brownsville in the early 80s.
Brownsville is mostly all projects.
That's right.
And that's what separates us from everybody else. Yeah. So you basically live in the project where you surrounded by another project on every side of your project. So if you think you tough in your building, first you got to prove it to every building in your project, and then you got to prove it to every project outside of your project, because they coming to test it to make sure that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Especially if you getting money, they coming to see if you going to give that money up. Even when Low Lifes was hitting them stores and doing all that, you getting off that train, there's dudes waiting for you. And this is a daily activity. They knew the time schedules when dudes was coming off those trains.
Wow.
Yeah, they said. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Daily operation.
This was a daily operation with things, and a lot of dudes was getting booked.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you didn't know how to hold it down, then you was getting booked. And that's where a lot of other dudes came into play to where, all right, y'all good boosters, but you got to have some hammers along with all
hold
them
it down.
clothes so you can hold it down, because they coming to take that from you. And part of being a lowlife is you got to make sure you can hold your stuff down. Even on Rikers Island, we was coming through super polo down, and it's hard to survive with anything on Rikers Island. You can't wear a pair of USPA they'll get you for.
No Philly Uspa. No Philly Uspa,
Yeah.
Frills.
You know what I mean? So it was way more than just having the clothes or wearing the clothes. But in Brownsville's going to make sure you built for it,
That's
because
right.
they not going to allow anything.
That's right.
Like
There's
if
no frauding.
if there was anything fraud about me or fake, Brownsville would have told you.
It would have came out already.
They would have
Yeah.
been said, this guy's a suspect. You know, but I'm also a humble dude. I'm not like a bully or, you know. I did what I did in my past, but I more fought in my community for my community.
That's right.
I wasn't robbing people in Brownsville. I lived in Brownsville. We went every place else to do our dirt, and we helped to protect our projects and our people within our projects when these other projects are coming through.
So what was the early inspiration for Low Life? Was it just a bunch of brothers saying, you know what, let's get together? Tell us about the early origins, how it originally initiated. Shout out to Rack Low.
Shout out Rack. I mean, Low Life's initial thing was just people from the same neighborhood surviving together. Now, the flyness, for me, I can speak for myself. I was fly way before the polo.
Okay.
I lived through every era of hip-hop fashion.
You seen them with the sheepskins.
Yeah.
You seen them with the gazelles.
Yeah, you seen the documentary. You see me with the shams, the barons, with the belly competitions, with the leather bombers, leather blazers, beaver Kango. So I got to touch every era of hip-hop and the fashion, and it's documented. The Stan Smiths, like we was talking, the Benetton, and all that. So getting to Low Lifes and Polo was just an evolution of the fashion. When Polo became the one with the most logos and the more colors, and the first brand that I actually recognized as being seasonal, dropping every season with every style. So that's what made it addictive to Low Lifes, where they wanted it. Everybody wanted to beat everybody to get the new pieces. So if the new
Became a
pieces was in
competition and a
Philly,
fashion
they
show.
coming in Philly first to make sure they outdo people in New York. Shout out to Boostin' Billy, who came and he migrated the Low Lifes to Philly in
right.
'89. You know what I
right.
mean? Out here they called him Shiesty Low, but you know, as an original founder, we were side by side.
Dope.
That was my brother,
History.
Boostin' Billy.
Dope.
He was getting busy. You know what I mean? Him,
Yeah.
G George.
East
They-
Coast cousins,
They
Frills.
Yes, sir.
migrated.
Yes.
They
So-
migrated to Philly.
Did you
That's
know
dope.
back then, or did you have any idea back then that what you were doing would become so legendary in the culture?
Not at all. Not at all. I feel like whatever we was doing was just really dominating the streets and some entertainers. But when I became an artist and a rapper, that's when the polo took over, because the influence got way heavier by my album covers, and you know, the way I was portraying my polo really exaggerated in my videos, and that's what started spreading the culture as I started to travel and tour the world and things like that. And then I'm seeing people who are actually following my lead or my influence with the style of polo. And then, you know, once social media hit, and then every Low Life came out the woodworks, even the ones that retired, and
Yeah, you brought
everybody,
them back. Just when
everybody
they thought
came
they
back.
could get out, you brought them back.
Hey,
I got
Val.
one more question, Frills, before we get to the music. I don't think I never seen anybody ask you this in a dialogue. Why Thirstin Howell III? Why did you choose that name? Because I remember when I first saw it, I was like, this is, you know.
That name chose me.
Okay.
I'm a battle rapper first, so
Okay.
I would hunt rappers everywhere I go. I would go to the tunnel and just wait outside for anybody, so I could step to them.
They don't know about the tunnel.
Nah, but I was also a stick up kid, so my approach was the same. I'm approaching you like it's a stick up for a battle, and then a lot of my friends started being like, "We're not going nowhere with you. You thirsty? All you want to do?" I'll be on a date with my girl, and we walk past the cipher. Next thing you know, That's the date. I'm at the cipher for 2 hours standing there while
That's
she's
that
just
real
waiting.
hip hop culture.
Yeah, I'm a real fiend for hip hop. I'm not a fan. I'm a fiend. There's a difference. So everybody started calling me Thirsty. And then when I went away to actually start learning how to write my rhyme, because I only freestyle before.
Yeah.
Once I started rapping and writing it, and I evolved into Thirstin Howell. And the third is because I'm the complete cipher. I'm the package. I'm the man, woman, child, the food, clothing, shelter. You know, I'm the complete package of an artist. I'm not just a rapper. I'm the total package. You know what I mean? So that's something that really stuck. But that's how the word Thirstin Howell, and it's crazy.
You got to hear from the culture coaches.
But you know it came from Gilligan's Island
Absolutely.
first. I spell it totally different and everything. But if you watch that show, Gilligan's Island, everything they wear on that show could have been designed by Polo.
That's dope. That is dope.
Thirstin Howell's whole attire on the show, Marianne, Gilligan,
Yes.
everybody, even down to the skipper's hat, Gilligan's shirt.
Skillionaire.
Hey, yo.
Everybody's clothes could have been designed by Polo, because Polo makes all that.
Thirstin, no disrespect. F Gilligan, it's about being a Polo Rican. We be back.
Yeah.
Black motherfuckers up for no reason.
It's the return of the Polo Rican.
Double L General con la corona from the MOP streets of Saratoga. Boricua soy, respect my flag. Ghetto bastard, check my pass. Horsey socks with a G-Shock watch. Catch me fresh in a Eastside shop. Polo cologne, every color I own. The crown automatically come with the throne. Gucci frame, the thing 2010. The Vovo, the darkest tip. Polo knits crisp with a bitch. Gucci girl curl. Polo mint, big ponies only. Olympic horsey stampede. Canteen, Polo cigarettes, Polo candy.
At the end of the day, you Rican and you made low cool. Let's talk about the Polo Rican movement.
I mean, a lot of people don't know that some of the major figures in low life who helped birth this were Puerto Rican. Like my man G. George from St. John's in Utica, you know, he was a major booster, major fly dude from the streets, really influencing the whole neighborhood, and he taught everybody how to steal. You know, the same way, you know, in Brownsville, I'm a Puerto Rican, and I was a major influence as well, you know what I mean? In a lot of more ways than just fashion.
Yeah,
you know, just from the hood, just from the street, just from the project. I was a project role model.
Okay.
You know, in an all-black project. So that's what made us stand out the most, because we came from totally black environments,
Right.
and we was outside, hard body.
So I have a question about that, since you touched on it. Just, you know, we're not going to get too deep into that whole conversation, but I wanted, since you mentioned it, tell people how, and I always bring this up, how were the relationships in the 70s and 80s between the Boricuas, the Puerto Ricans, and blacks in Brownsville?
I mean, in Brownsville was a little short, because there weren't that many Puerto Ricans in Brownsville. My family came from East New York.
Okay.
So they was already in tune growing up with everybody.
Yeah.
My family, they Puerto Rican, but they're both shades. They're black and they're light.
Okay.
You know, from both sides of my family, both of my grandmothers are black, African-looking, Spanish women.
Afro-Boricua.
Yep. So half of my family was like that. Half of them, you couldn't tell the difference in a lot of them. You know, everybody had an afro in the 70s. My mother, my father, all their brothers and sisters and all that. But, you know, I seen the glimpses of the racism in certain areas, because everybody wasn't total in tune.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone didn't fully understand everyone's culture.
It was still early.
But that's why hip-hop was born.
That's right.
That's what brought us here. That's when everybody started learning everybody's culture. The Jamaican culture, the Puerto Rican culture, Black American culture, street culture. I would even say a lot of the white people culture from the professional business aspect of things, and then being involved. So I always seen hip-hop as strictly a melting pot.
That's right.
It was a melting pot. If not, it wouldn't have been the culture.
Yes.
Maybe the parts of the elements were started in a lot of different places, but the culture was started by everybody together.
I agree.
I won't
totally
say the elements,
agree.
but I'll say the culture. It wouldn't have been the culture without everyone involved.
And what I always say is, right, culture, especially back then, right, 70s, 80s, not like today. Everything goes so quickly, everything evolves, right? Because we have the internet. So in a month, something can be culturalized because everybody's doing it, a dance or a sing or whatever, right? A record. But back then, culture really had to evolve 5 to 10 years. You needed to get write-ups. You needed to be on TV.
You needed to be outside.
You needed to be outside. We were outside, Frills.
Everybody's argument right
it wasn't
now
instant.
Is online.
That's right.
Back in the days,
you was outside.
You wouldn't dare argue in front of people.
That's right.
Everybody was getting punched in the face when you couldn't have an opinion back in the days on the street. And I'm not talking about this subject matter. I'm talking about any subject matter.
You had to be able to hold it down.
Or you just shut up. You getting slapped. That. I'm sure you know everybody's getting slapped everywhere. So.
Yeah. Even online now, there's some of these YouTubers, some of these streamers, they're going too far. Now people getting tired and the OGs are slapping them. Record that, homie. Get 1 million views on that slap. So let's talk about hip hop. You brought up hip hop, right? So you transitioned. You started. You said early on you were a freestyler. You were a battle rapper before you actually started writing it down and taking it serious and recording. So let's talk about the evolution of your music career. Okay.
Well, I was a graffiti writer first.
Oh, okay. Talk about that.
My name was Rye. I started writing graffiti in Far Rock.
Okay.
And I would go back and forth to Miami, in the late 70s, early 80s. If you go to Miami right now and you visit the Museum of Graffiti, that's ran by Alan Kett, I'm sure everybody knows.
Yes.
I am the beginning of the timeline of graffiti in Miami, and it's documented in the museum.
So he carried the culture.
I carried the cultures, and this is at 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
I'm bringing graffiti, introducing people to it. And then I evolved to a break dancer. I was real heavy into b-boying, and it kind of took me away from the graffiti. I was such a fiend of break dancing. And I mean, when I started becoming a rapper, I felt like it was a resurrection of my breakdancing because that's how serious I was about breakdancing.
Okay.
Like if you listen to my flows in hip hop and how I rhyme, I consider it footwork because nobody flows the way I flow. My whole style is original, and it sounds like I'm doing footwork to the beat.
When Thirstin is on the track, you know it's him. He's and that's something that I got to say about 80s and 90s and even 70 artists, right? Everybody had their individuality, right? When Rakim, when Big Daddy, when they could, Bismarcky, when these brothers jumped on the track, you know who they were right away. You didn't have to wonder if it was the same, if it was this. Nobody sounded the same. Everybody had their own style, and that's something that we miss in hip hop today.
That matters. Your love is what matters. How much you love it, and
that's right.
I love
Your passion.
Yeah, I'm sure I love it more than a lot of people. That's why I stay on fire with it. It's like when you have your girl and you sexing her with. I'm gonna sex her better than
Thirst,
you.
I always say one thing, right? People say, when are you gonna retire? I say, why should you retire when you're still on fire?
Well, they say, you know how they say, well, I'm gonna do this till the wheels fall off? When the wheels fall off, it becomes a hovercraft for me. Because I'm gonna keep it moving.
Talk to him, Frills.
Listen, I'm gonna let the music talk. The Ghetto Brothers, let's go.
Welcome to the live with Hip Hopology, the hip hop co-creators, and Microphone Prince Hip Hop History. We're about to tell you the story of the gang that provided the truce and the fertile soil for hip hop to be created in New York City. The Ghetto Brothers.
The problem in the past has been the man turning us against one another. We have been unable to see the truth because we have been fighting for 10 square feet of ground. Our turf. Our little piece of
Allow me to tell you a story you seem to have missed it. About a brotherhood nobody believes existed. The Bronx in the 70s, urban decay. Slumlords burnt buildings down every day. All whites took flight, politicians abandoned. The Bronx, no police responses, we were stranded. They made up a way to avoid the Bronx, the expressway that almost destroyed the Bronx. See, they uprooted families, devastated businesses. They cut the Bronx in half and the whole world witnessed it. They murdered Martin, Malcolm X, and both Kennedys. The cops ain't protect or serve, they were the enemy. The Bronx was the danger zone of only destruction. So this
which gave rise to the need for gang culture. They modeled themselves after the biker gangs, and if you got caught on the wrong turf, you might get hanged. Sleeveless jean jackets with swastikas, to say it was about race is preposterous. So I'm hoping the truth doesn't take you out your zone about the place that birthed hip-hop, which I call home.
The Bronx wasn't safe for no man. 70 motors, the black spades, and the savage nomads. Saigons of Harlem, the jolly stompers. Men became monsters, divide and conquer. Black Panthers and young lords try to push for peace and unity. Like together we can have much more. Trying to show them who the real enemy was, but that kumbaya wasn't really getting
The
them.
question is not why, but why not? We are the culture.
Yes, sir.
The culture's famous frills. I'm famous frills, and this is my Boricua bro. Tell him your name.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
him your name.
It's your man Val, the voice, the people's choice, Mr. Validated, and I know you hate it, but listen, it ain't about me. It's always about us, but it ain't about us.
It's about the culture.
That's right. It's about the culture. It's about the brothers in the studio. Listen,
Yes.
TMP, Microphone Prince, Microphone Prince, Microphone Prince. Thank you
sir.
for coming up again, man. It's always a pleasure. You're a big part of the Hip Hop Co-Creators page, and you know what? Just everything that you've done to help the page, gain notoriety and all the dope records that you put out. Listen, talk to us a little bit about what you got going on right now with the Ghetto Brothers. That's an incredible record. It's featuring you, featuring my man here, Thirstin Howell, the legendary Mr. Schick, and LA Sunshine.
Yes, sir.
And who is the
LA
beat
Sunshine.
produced by?
Y'all Z, my brother Y'all Z.
It's another part of the Hip Hop Co-Creators. We got a powerful team, Frills. That's right. We got a powerful team. Boricuas is running the building. So
Yeah,
listen, tell us a little bit about that creation.
And that track is actually 3 beats with another 3 break beats in it. So it's 6 minutes long and it's like 6 different beats.
What inspired you to make that record?
When the conversation about Puerto Ricans and hip hop started turning into that blacks and Puerto Ricans were racist and were enemies, it made me want to dig into. There was like an old legend that hip hop was an alternative to gang violence, and it always sounded like a fantasy to me. But I dug it up, and there was a group called the Ghetto Brothers who, in the midst of the gang warfare of the Bronx, a brother by the name of Black Benji was killed trying to broker a peace, and there was going to be a huge war in the city, and the Ghetto Brothers decided to have peace instead of war, so they declared a truce, and from that truce slowly came the beginnings of hip-hop, because everybody was allowed to go to different neighborhoods and start bringing their equipment out, and the Ghetto Brothers used to do outside jams, so it felt important to document that, and there's for this film called The Rubble Kings. And it just so happens that just as we finished this record, they are now re-releasing it and doing screenings. So we've linked up with them, and wherever the screening goes, we're gonna go with the song and we're gonna promote it.
So you're the official soundtrack, basically.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it's about peace and unity, bro.
Yeah, no, it's a great story. A lot of people credit the Ghetto Brothers as being pioneers and early pioneers in hip hop, because if it wasn't for the truce, if it wasn't for the gang truce, people wouldn't, like he said, people wouldn't have been allowed to go to certain neighborhoods, and then it wouldn't have evolved. Also, there's a lot, people don't know that group, they also became artists and started recording records, and some of those records
on their own label.
Yeah, you can find out. Wow. So they were not only that, they were entrepreneurs early on, right? They were artists, they were entrepreneurs, they were businessmen, they were gangsters. Listen, a lot of talent comes out of the hood.
And
you know
just
what
to
I'm
be
saying?
clear, they didn't initiate any of the music and the styles.
Yeah.
But they just created the atmosphere where they could flourish.
And they're from the Bronx.
Yes, sir.
And the aura.
And the aura.
Because that's part of all of this. The thoroughness, aura. I'm walking down any block, your block. I'm not scared. That's part of hip hop. And a lot of people forget that. And that's what a lot of this generation don't have.
Yes.
Yeah.
They go hide in the room. They don't come outside.
Yeah. They're inside. They're online all day.
That's
and,
true.
We live in a real funny time where anybody can jump online and have an opinion because they know they're not outside. They know they don't got to see anybody. Mm-hmm. So you get people who are developing these whole online careers. And another thing that I can't stand, and I don't know if this is for who frauded, but I can't, when people who have not accomplished anything, who don't have any relationships, they're brand new, they pick up a mic,
not
and then they have an opinion. Froze always says it right. Not qualified to speak on the subject. That's right. Not enough relationship, not enough years, no accomplishments. Yes. Nobody knows you, homie. Yeah. Right? And then they go on there and they have opinions. Unfortunately, because the internet is so vast, people tend to believe them, right? They influence the youngins. They influence people who don't know the true history of certain things, and that's one of the downsides.
They don't care about the history. They don't care about our forefathers, and it doesn't even matter. They calling people old and washed up. They don't have no respect.
That's right.
Yeah, you know how you got your respect once upon a time.
That's right.
And that's what people
earned
it.
No,
made
people
you
respect
made people.
you. Yeah.
Hey, Thirstin, listen. That's why you here, right? Because you are official, you beneficial, you actually help change the culture.
And you're beneficial for the culture.
And you beneficial, change the temperature out here. Yo, matter of fact, I'm not even making this up. My mom hit me up the other day. She said, I was watching this documentary on Ralph Lauren, and just to think about like how major Polo is to the globe, to the culture, and you're one of the people who helped make it cool. Let's talk about the documentary. You was featured in it, right?
Yeah, the documentary is called Very Ralph. It's the biography of Ralph Lauren himself, done by director Susan Lacey, and I was asked by Susan to be a part of the documentary and give my angle and perspective of my contributions and Lowlife's contribution to know the global phenomenon that Ralph Lauren has become. It was really big for me, man.
Wool hat with the horsey. This is actually the retro reissue stuff. It's a little cold outside. Always low socks. And then you're not gonna catch me without my polo drawers on.
These guys brought this really rich, interesting context to the brand that wasn't there.
We took their style and we made it our own. The Lowlifes were formed in 1988 in Brooklyn. Not too many people say polo. It's always referred to as low. We were always into hip-hop culture and the fashion of graffiti, breakdancing, DJing, and everything. And polo became an obsession for us.
They looked like mannequins from the store, how much stuff they had on, and I knew how much the stuff cost. These guys were wearing like $400 jackets with $300 boots.
Like everybody else, we wanted the finer things in life, but a lot of people felt the clothes weren't made for us in the ghetto. We were poor, you know? And I didn't have no other way of really getting the clothes. I'm gonna take it.
We don't have to buy shit, take what I want, everything is my shit. Low life from the old cipher, the polo.
You go on boosting missions with a couple of guys who can walk in the store and come out with anything. Down the leg, down the back, and the shirt, and the sleeve. When we would come back to our neighborhoods wearing these clothes, you looked like somebody, you felt like somebody.
It was a way of saying that you made it, you were successful. Because it was so regal, it was so royal, it was, it was the top of the top.
When rap and hip-hop embraced Ralph Lauren, they were essentially saying that we're going to take this symbol of what it means to be a success in America, we're going to turn it on its head a little bit, and we're going to sort of wear it on our own terms.
Ralph Lifshitz came from the Bronx. He pursued the American dream. It's what we did.
I pulled up at the premiere, with Ralph Lauren whole family.
Wow, I was just gonna ask you that.
Nah, that was big, man. I pulled up with my good peoples, Bones Malone, Cole
shout out
Rodriguez, Mark Levin, and I think I was the only hip hop artist that was in the building that night.
So you felt your career came full circle at that particular point.
Yeah, in some form, because I think Ralph Lauren gave me a bigger sign than any other rap artist even stepped in to help me, the co-sign. I've had co-signs from, Tony Touch, Hurricane, Sadat, a lot of people, Eminem.
Tell them a little bit about that history.
I mean, when me and Eminem did music and everything together, we was both fairly unknown. We didn't have our credentials yet. But, we all came up around the same time and through the same battle circuits and the same hunger and passion for the art. So that's how a lot of us got to click the way we did. So
a lot of people try to discredit Eminem, and I tell them, when you try to discredit Eminem, you don't know your hip hop history.
You know what I tell
Because he was outside. He was outside.
Eminem was in Brownsville in my projects with me. So.
For real?
Yes.
Yo, give us some. This is the coach's Val.
Yeah, man.
He was in Philly too. So, I'm joking, but can you give us a story like for the world?
Eminem would pull up to my crib in Brownsville at 11 p.m. with Paul Rosenberg.
Wow.
And we would have freestyle ciphers till the morning.
Oh, that's official.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
and
crazy.
even Paul Rosenberg was rapping in those ciphers. Like, he was spitting verses, and it was so, like, catchy. You had to jump in, you know? But Em's the truth, man. Regardless of what anyone has to say about him, I know true hip-hop, and like you said, he pushed the culture forward as well. That's not a culture vulture. Or, I don't understand when you call it, just because someone is white to say they're a vulture when their contributions to the culture is massive. That's not a culture vulture.
There's no 50 Cent without Eminem.
Yeah.
So you on that alone, right? And he helped put on a lot of people.
Facts.
I'm glad he said that, because I can name in my city about 15 culture vultures that's black.
Yeah.
Really they are vultures.
That's fact.
You can be the biggest culture vultures, usually come from their own culture.
Yeah.
Because they know how to intimidate their culture, they know how to manipulate their culture. People from outside of the culture gotta kind of learn that. So here's something I always say, right? There is no culture vultures if somebody don't co-sign them and let them get into the game. Right?
Sometimes their money is their co-sign.
Okay.
They buy their way in, and those are the vultures. They come in
to
profit from it with small investments. Like,
okay, good point.
I got a new song where I even said it. Culture vultures even in your own race.
That's right.
It's the fast lane with no brakes. You know, so they exist. It's like they don't love the culture. They're here to try to profit from it. And when they see they can't profit, they exit. The same, the ones who start to, start rapping and all that, and then they quit because they're not successful immediately. They're basically vultures too, because they came for a reason. Yeah. And they didn't come to feed the culture.
They didn't come for the love. They didn't come to add on. My man Frills always says, you know what? Be valuable, not just available. Yes. So add value to the situation, right? We here at the Culture Coaches, we add value to the culture. We teach you about the culture, right? We bring up the legends, right? It's not just about what's trending today. We tell you we give you the temperature of how things became how they are. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with my man here, Thirstin Howell, Microphone Prince. They add on to the culture, right? They step in when the voices need to be heard. They step in and they take the lead.
Hey, Val, I got a question. Yeah. Speaking of voices, right? It's a voice that's unsung, right? And it actually bothered me watching this. And I feel like, I don't know if it's God, the universe. When my man walked in, he walked in with the Hurricane G shirt.
Gloria.
I can't even make this up, right? I just watching something about it. I said, yo, she made Redman album dope. Like, the way she was talking on that joint. It ain't even applause because she's a woman. But, yo, it was so dope. So
she's legendary.
She's legendary, and she's Boricua.
That's right.
Right? So, Thirstin, man, you have...
She's the madrina, actually.
Oh, talk to him.
She's the madrina.
Do you have any cool classic stories about that lady?
Yeah, let's
Please,
hear them.
I don't know for the world.
Share with our audience, man.
Hurricane was my sister. Yeah. Like, when I first heard her record, Underground Lockdown, where she spit in Spanish, at this point, I wasn't hearing many people who could spit like that in Spanish. Like myself.
She was a trailblazer.
When I heard TMP, when Tito introduced me to TMP's music, same effect. Mm-hmm. Now, and I've been rocking with TMP since that day. Yeah. Now, Hurricane, Tony introduced us. Tony Touch introduced us. I was like, yo, I really want to work with her, man. But, Hurricane was a very spiritual madrina. Yes, she was in the religion, hard body and all that. And when I stepped to her to work, she turned me down, man. She's like...
Wait a minute. Let's hear it. So the legendary Hurricane G turned down Thirstin Howell when you initially wanted to work with her.
Yeah, because she said her Santos told her she can't mess with me. She can't deal with me. She shouldn't have anything to do with me for whatever reasons they told her.
The Santos don't play, bro.
Yeah. So she was like, the only way I could work with you, you gotta go get a limpieza.
Wow. Tell everybody what a limpieza is for people who don't know.
Hold up, and a Santos. Hold up, listen.
Okay, go ahead, Frills.
I'm kind of Puerto Rican. We had them in my block. Shout out my Puerto Rican niggas. Rest in peace to Buck.
Shout out to the Badlands.
To the Badlands, North Philly. A lot of Puerto Ricans down there. But what's a Santos?
Santo is like, it's a saint.
A saint. Okay,
that's the word saint
like Saint Michael,
in Spanish.
Gabriel. So they believe in saints. Like, they don't bother God with everything. They talk to the saints that are assigned to certain parts of it. Just real quick, first time I met Gloria Hurricane G was on the set of Don't Chicharron.
Wow.
So I'm trying to get her attention because I know something that she don't know. So I was trying to tell her, and then she finally realized it, and she came back, and she realized that my sister Anna Ortiz is the one who baptized her
into the religion.
Wow. And I wound up meeting her full circle in Miami somewhere on a set of a movie that he put me on.
Things were meant to be. Wow. Things come full circle. There's no coincidence.
She was like, Anna's your sister.
Now, what was the other part?
Tell people who don't know what Don Chicharron is. Tell them what that is because they're going to wonder what it is. You mentioned it.
Well, Don Chicharron is one of my accolades.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's a film and a project I did. It's just basically being, Don Chicharron is like, the chicharron is the pork grinds, and I'm one of them dudes. I used to eat a lot of pork grinds.
You're the
and
don.
All that.
So a lot of people don't know in the Spanish culture they'll call you don. It's a term of admiration, like Don Valentin, Don Howl, Don. So it's a term of like Godfather.
But it was a term I gave myself. I was never Don, like the Spanish terminology, utilizing it too much.
Thirst, you got the most aliases in hip hop, and I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, they just come natural. But the alias comes with the project. So I was thinking of titles, when I'm creating this project. So I made a whole mixtape, Don Chicharron. I even drove out to TMP's crib. Came from Florida in the car with the studio and everything in the car.
That's dope.
We set up shop in his crib for like 2 days. And we went hard. We recorded a bunch of joints, but
and hold up. One of the things about the movie is that we didn't just chop up records and remake them. Mm-hmm. We took whole records and just rhymed in between the spaces that were already available about whatever it was. So it's really a Boricua.
So where can people see this if they haven't seen it?
Oh, the full movie is not out.
Okay.
We never released it. We screened it at a couple.
Okay.
We screened it in theaters, so we're gonna keep screening them until we figure we want to just let it go. But there's a whole mixtape on YouTube. It's called Don Chicharron. It's like a 90-minute mixtape of hip-hop and Spanglish like you never heard before.
Hurricanes.
Nobody ever got it on like this. Hard body salsa classics, but we flipping it in Spanglish so you won't get lost if you don't speak Spanish. But, I took a lot of those songs off of that project and I wrote it into a script. Okay. And we created a film called Don Chicharron, which is like a musical. It's like a Ricky Ricardo live at Club Babalu type of style. You know what I mean? So it's starring me, TMP, Hurricane G, DJ XS, and a host of others. But it's straight raw hip hop like you never seen nobody do with Spanish style.
And that's on YouTube. They can go listen to the soundtrack. But you guys haven't released the movie yet.
But there's clips on YouTube. You can see short clips of it. Like you can see the Don Chicharron clip, the Friendly But Deadly. Me and TMP got the Black Angels, which is with one of Hurricane's last performances ever. And it's like it's crazy because in the song we talking about going to heaven. You know what I mean? And why they don't allow black angels, why they don't paint black angels on all these murals. They make them always, the same complexions and stuff. So and it's so crazy that Hurricane, she was lip syncing this song from Los Angelitos Negros, right? But she did it to perfection where you would think it's actually her song. Wow. But the lyrics actually turned into everything that happened after.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to hear it.
Gloria Rodriguez, better known as Hurricane G, was an exceptional, vicious, bilingual rapper of Puerto Rican descent. Hurricane G was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1970 and died November 6, 2022 from lung cancer at the young age of 52. She is survived by her one and only daughter, Alexis Cannon, who is also the daughter of rapper and producer Eric Sermer of EPMD. Hurricane G was also a member of the rap group Def Squad that included rappers Redman, Keith Murray, K-Solo, and Eric Sermon. The trailblazing female rapper set the tone with her one and only studio album, All Woman, in 1997, which was promoted poorly. However, the lead single from All Woman, Somebody Else, became a top 10 hit on the Hot Rap Singles chart.
April 18th, Thirstin Howell III, Low Life Miami and Low Life Orlando. There's a big event coming up. Tell us about the event. Tell us about what inspired you. Is this an annual thing that you do?
That the Love and Loyalty Weekend is an annual weekend we do every year in Orlando. We do one in Miami as well.
Okay.
But this one, and every year we have a theme for our concert. Our theme for the Saturday night, it's a 3-day event, like I said, it's from the 17th to the 19th. Saturday, the 18th, we live at the Iron Cow in Orlando for the Body by Nature concert. This is the second time it's being done. We did a Body by Nature in New York City in conjunction with Make It Count with Danny Castro. He actually is the inventor of this event. So we're bringing it to Orlando right now. We got Ito performing, we got UFO Feed, we got My Verse, we got the Microphone Prince, we got Bogey, and a whole bunch of others, Polo Baby Flacco, and you're going to see a lot of spitters coming up there because it's going to be a hip-hop unity event. You know, mostly Puerto Rican artists, but other artists as well. We got Dominicans, we got black brothers up there, we got some of everything.
Highlighting the unity in the
You're going to
culture.
see the big Puerto Rican flag. You're going to
right.
see the big red, black, and green flag. You're going to see everybody united. You ain't going to hear no talk of division, of separation. All you're going to hear is unity all night long. And you're going to hear bars on stage and dudes coming through really bodying it. Shout out my brother Earl Lugo, who's a main component of this, you know what I mean, from the Low Life Orlando family. He's our president over there. He's a community active, been involved with the community forever. Same with DJ XS from Miami. He's the president of Miami, you know what I mean? And Box Slow, who's also my partner in Skillusion Films. We're going to be showing a new video by Hurricane and myself as well. Off the Don Chichacon, we're going to show the Boricua Soy video, and we're just going to get busy. You're going to see timbales on stage, congas, cutting and scratching with congas and timbales. And you know,
with congos.
Just the whole weekend is going to be live. Craig G is coming
Shout
out
out
with
to
us
the
for the
Craig G.
Friday night. Destroy will be there. And a host of another. We even bringing out all the Bomba and Plena dudes for the Sunday picnic barbecue we do every year. And all we trying to do is promote unity amongst all our people in hip hop. We don't want to support no division. We don't even want to discuss it no more. We just gonna show our actions, and we gonna keep building from
I
there.
would say, right? We went through our actions, not through our words.
Body by Nature. Don't forget, Body by Nature.
Let it play.